Hey guys, quick little video update here. I have been getting phone calls all weekend about what happened to Manuel Mata on Friday, and I want y'all to know that we have been working feverishly. The problem is, I had excuse me, I fixed that. I did have a habeas corpus petition ready to go today, and we ran into a problem where his attorney is unfortunately and is still currently in the hospital for pneumonia, and our other attorney is actually out of the state, and so we didn't have anybody to present the habeas writ on his behalf today. But there is some good news I want to share with you, but there's also bad news in this good news. So what I want to do is I want to share with you what happened today, earlier this morning, if you haven't seen it. So for those of you that don't know, what happened on Friday was that Manuel Mata was in the courtroom. And at some point, and earlier than that, when he was not in the courtroom, the defense attorney, Miles Bassett, I think is his name, sought to have. No, I'm with the same firm right now, but I'm transitioning to go solo. But he sought to have Manuel Mata sworn in as a witness. And, Mata had called me about this and said, what's going on here? And I said, oh, I know what they're doing. They're trying to get you kicked out of the courtroom. And I explained to him what it means, and I said, if you get sworn in, you won't be able to write about the case. You won't be able to read about the case. You won't be able to do anything with the case. You can't talk to other people about the case. You can't even ask other journalists, like, what's going on. Once you're sworn in as a witness, you are supposed to, cut off anything related to the case. And that's what they wanted. They wanted Mata to shut up. And so on Friday, the defense attorney attempted to swear him in, but Mata wasn't in the courtroom. And so he looks at some random Hispanic dude and goes, who are you? And he explained, Anthony somebody. And then he has that guy sworn in and kicked out of the courtroom. And then basically sequestered. And then when Mata came in later in the day, they did it again. They had Mata come up. And look, Mata just wanted to ask some questions. And here's the problem with this. All he wanted to do was ask, why am I being sworn in? I don't know anything about this case. And by the way, it's unethical for an attorney to try to swear someone in that he has absolutely zero intention of calling as a witness. That is unethical. And yes, don't worry, we're filing our complaints against that attorney. And so he, the judge went to swear him in, didn't even explain anything. All he did was say, raise your right hand. And then he says, hey, do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Now, if you notice, that's a question. It's not an order. It's a question. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Now, Mata asked him some questions like, well, Your Honor, I don't exactly understand. That's not what I'm asking you, sir. Are you... I'm administering you the oath. And then Mata's like, well, under what authority? What am I here for? Why am I here? And so the judge removed the jury. And then he asked him again, are you refusing, or I have presented the oath to you. Are you refusing to take it? And he says, Your Honor, I have some, that's not what I asked you. Are you refusing to take the oath? And he says, yes. I mean, you can't force someone under the First Amendment to speak. Just like you can't prevent speech, you cannot compel speech. And that's what that judge did. I already did a video about that. But anyway, this morning, thankfully, I mean, I've been doing everything I can to try and get Mata out, but it looks like he's going to get out today. Listen to this, and then I want to tell you how bad this really is. There's good news in this bad news. Well, there's bad news in this good news, I guess.
Mr. Bassett, Traditionally, under Rogers versus State,
Could y'all hear that okay?
stuff on outside the presence of the jury and the state for trial strategy purposes, but given the events that have transpired over the last 2 days we've been in court, I think it's appropriate to make sure the record's very clear as to what was going on Thursday evening outside the Tim Curry Criminal Justice Center. Okay.
Yes.
So, without revealing sources and methods, when the Dean family was removed.
Now, I want you to oh, you can't hear it? Hang on. Maybe, I don't know why it's not. It should be going straight through there. Hang on a second. Let me see if there's a volume issue here. That's up. How do I handle the volume here? I want to make sure you guys get. All right. Let's try this again. Hopefully this is a little bit better.
Moved or escorted from the building. There were individuals not part of the Carr family at all. They've been most gracious to us and to the Dean family throughout this whole trial. There are hangers-on, though, that have taken it upon themselves to interject.
Now, I want one of the things before I saw that in the comments. You're going to hear this this attorney talk. This is a defense attorney. This isn't somebody from the state, ladies and gentlemen. This is a defense attorney. This is not a prosecutor. This is not a cop. And he's talking about without revealing sources and methods. That's code for, I really don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So if I just make it sound good, maybe you won't ask me questions, Your Honor.
Themselves in this case. And one of those is Mr. Mata. Mr. Mata and several other individuals, some dressed in full military fatigues, some dressed.
Now, notice this. Notice this. Let me go back a little bit. Where are we here on the time? We're at. Let me go back just a little bit here.
There are hangers-on, though, that have taken it upon themselves to interject themselves in this case. And one of those is Mr. Mata.
So Mr. Mata is a, quote, hangers-on, right? To interject himself in this case. The entire state of Texas has an interest in this case because it's about a cop going around murdering people. Okay? It's about a cop breaking into someone's house and murdering them. All right? Everyone has an interest. And Manuel Mata is an independent journalist who is very good at exposing government corruption. And his very presence has exposed even more corruption in Tarrant County right here.
Mr. Mata and several other individuals, some dressed in full military fatigues.
Now, do you see how he does that? Mr. Mata and several other individuals, some of whom were dressed in military fatigues. See, you know what he's doing right there? What he's trying to do is say Mr. Mata was involved in, like, he's trying to equate him to some kind of militia, right-wing conspiracy type thing where he's a danger because he's wearing military gear. Why is it? But he wasn't wearing military gear. He was just around other people, some of whom were wearing military gear. And this is all to try and cover up for what they're doing.
Some dressed in full face coverings or baklavas to hide their identity.
Some in full face coverings or baklavas. There were probably some Antifa there, I guarantee you.
To speak in words that probably should be spoken in open court and cause the Dean family to be in fear.
And did you hear that too? Oh, they said some things that probably shouldn't be spoken in open court. Actually, yes, they can. When you're throwing a man in prison, in jail, for no reason whatsoever, when you're revoking his bonds, the open court is exactly where you are supposed to say exactly what happened. Open court is the one place where you should say everything that was said to the word, every curse word, every threat, hell, they show child pornography in open court. When you've got a pedophile in open court, they're showing pornography, but yet he says he doesn't want to say in open court supposedly what people that were around Mata had said. No, that's because you don't know, and you're trying to cover up your tracks, Mr. Bissett, and you're going to lose.
To the level I say rises to Texas Penal Code 2207 of terroristic threat.
So now he's trying to equate Mata with people who were shouting vile things, whatever those were. I mean, it's alleged right now because, you know, he's not going to release sources and methods. And, you know, we're not going to say these things in public court because it's really bad. And, oh, now, you know what? Here's what I can do. I can invoke the terroristic threat statute as why I swore in Mata. And I'm going to tell you after this why that's not possible.
Without revealing which law enforcement agencies were in plainclothes.
Oh, yeah, we don't want to say which law enforcement agencies.
Were in close contact with the family and observed the 2207 violations. And at the time, they did not know who Mr. Mata was. As we came into Thursday evening, at the same time that's going on, simultaneously a series of death threats were being issued.
Okay, so now what he's trying to say is that while Mata was protesting or around protesters, likely covering the story, it doesn't matter whether he's protesting or covering the protests. Oh, simultaneously, we're getting death threats. Okay, folks, are you assuming or insinuating that Mata is making the death threats? Because there is no reason whatsoever to equate what you're doing right now, which is trying to explain Mata's the unconstitutional and oppressive acts against Mata and linking that to one, terroristic threats, and two, death threats, because that's what he's trying to do right now. He's trying to justify that with an emotional argument.
As a whole, via communication systems, which isn't the first time we received death threats, but these were more specific and carried the same tone and nature that was going on the streets outside the Justice Center at the time.
So if Mata was issuing death threats, why wasn't he arrested before he got there? He said they knew who he was. I mean, he was down. The officers at the courthouse recognized him. So why wasn't he arrested if he was making death threats? Because he wasn't. What he's trying to do, what this defense attorney is trying to do, is link Mata to other people he's not even associated with, but maybe he agrees that Officer Dean needs to go to jail for a long time, and I would argue needs to suffer the same fate as his victim. But he's trying to link those people to Mata as a justification for what he did.
As we went on to the next day, Friday, when we were here last report, initially the state was gracious enough to provide us an image of Mr. Mata from the Tarrant County Sheriff's Department system. Mr. Mata has a series of pending cases. He's also a convicted felon. He is assaulted.
First of all, none of that has anything to do. Just because you're convicted of anything does not mean you can't monitor a court proceeding. You're still a citizen of the United States. He served his time. He did everything that the state told him to do for his crimes, and he's out. So, Mata, you're not allowed to use someone's history in most cases against them in a court of law. Here is a defense attorney that should know better, that you are not allowed to invoke someone's criminal history as a means for what they're doing right now. Oh, well, he did it before, so he must be doing it now. That is completely uncalled for in open court. It is against the rules of evidence to begin with, and that's exactly what this defense attorney is trying to lay out, is his evidence for why. Now, you're going to hear in a second his absolutely incredibly ignorant excuse for why he wanted to swear in Mata. And I'll stop talking a little bit. I'll let you listen to this.
This is his path, and the undercover plainclothes officers were not able to do a positive identification based on the last mugshot that we had in the system.
Yes, they violated his rights big time.
His appearance here in your actual courtroom, that the plainclothes officers were able to positively identify Mr. Mata as being one of the same that did a bull rush for one of their vehicles and was creating the overtones of the terrorism.
Now, you hear the word. I'm sorry. I know I said I wasn't going to stop this. That Mata did a quote unquote bull rush. How do they know it was Mata? Hell, this guy couldn't even point out the right Mata in the courtroom when they had the previous dude kicked out and sworn in, or sworn in and then kicked out? How do they know that Mata was one of the people that quote unquote bull rushed a vehicle when they couldn't even identify him in a courtroom where there wasn't a lot of stress going on? You see how this is such BS?
This court's well aware during the history of this building.
Oh,
we have metal detectors.
Oh man, you know, people have attacked this building in the past, so obviously Mata's going to do it.
My law partner Bob Gilman, he was a prosecutor, was attacked with a knife made out of a glass shank during Capitol Court at one point. Metal detectors only do certain things. Mr. Mata sat within the 21-foot rule of the Dean family in the courtroom. As the state's expert, Mr. Priest, talked about 21 feet, probably should be 35 at this point. He had on multiple layers of clothing. We could not identify if he had anything on him. The same people he was threatening to cause harm to the day before, he's now within.
See, now he's claiming that it was actually Mata that was. Hey, I do have a Discord. Yes. So now they're claiming it was Mata who made threatening statements, not the people that he was around. You notice how the story changes. It kind of goes as you listen longer and longer. The defense attorney himself changes from it was Mata, or I'm sorry, it was others that Mata was around making these threats to now Mata's making these threats.
The defense's contention all along is this case should have been moved out of town for publicity and the security risks that were going to go on. The defense asked to have Mr. Mata sworn in and others sworn in at the time last week to make a bill of exception to our continued issue of the change of venue. We were going to do that with Mr. Mata at a break. That's why we asked to have him.
Oh, now that is absolute and utter bullshit. Oh, we were going to swear in Mr. Mata at a break because, you know, we have always wanted a change of venue in this case. And therefore, we were going to swear in Mr. Mata to argue as a witness for this change of venue thing. Bullshit. Mr. Mata's a journalist. And yes, he's an activist, but he's a journalist as well. I guarantee you all the other journalists were getting sworn in to talk about whether or not a change of venue was proper. And what are they going to ask Mr. Mata about for change of venue purposes? He doesn't know anything about that. There's none at all. It's absolute. This is just, I'm telling you, this is absolute bullshit, but it gets better.
Mr. Mata refused to take the oath, and everybody else got to see what happens when you choose not to take the oath at that point and are disrespectful to a court that's in session. So for those reasons, that's why we asked to have Mr. Mata sworn in without revealing all the sources and methods and the undercover peace officers that are assisting in this case. We felt that the terroristic threat.
Thank you for telling us that there were undercover peace officers, because when we file our suit, we're going to need those names so that we can, talk to them and do a deposition and find out exactly what you're talking about.
The event that took place on Thursday warranted him being sworn in to be put as part of a proffer for our bill of exception as to why the changes in you had not been granted.
All right, here's where it gets good.
Information from security as to their concerns as to Mr. Mata. And additionally, the state had furnished to the court a list of his convictions, his pending cases. There are multiple convictions for assault. There are 4 pending cases for interference with public duties,
all of which are bogus. And we have filed, or we have prepared, and we're ready to argue next month motions to dismiss because all of those charges violate Mr. Mata's rights. Just because, and this judge should know better. Sorry about that. This judge should know, just because you're charged with a crime, what you have here right now, ladies and gentlemen, what this judge essentially just admitted to is conspiracy. This is a conspiracy. 2 or more people conspiring together to violate Mr. Mata's rights. You got the defense attorney, and now you've got the judge admitting, security gave us information that Mr. Mata was in the building and he's a felon, and he's got several pending cases for interference with the duties of a peace officer. All of those cases, every single one of them is a false arrest. Every single one of them is for engaging in a constitutionally protected activity. Now what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just a corrupt judge that didn't ask questions. Now we know why he didn't ask the defense attorney. Wait a minute. Wait. Hey, Bassett, why are you swearing this guy in? He has nothing to do with this case. Why are you swearing in? Now we know why he didn't swear him in, because they were in on it together. They conspired together to have Mata and to have Anthony removed from the courtroom because they're activists, because they believe in police accountability. That's why that judge didn't do what any regular judge who's not corrupt would have done, which is say, hold up, defense attorney. This is all starting to make sense now. You're only getting people sworn in so that you can have them kicked out of the courtroom, because this officer here was just convicted of manslaughter. That's why. And the judge just admitted it. Oh, we've got information that Mr. Mata is some kind of a security risk. And then the defense attorney goes, he came into the courtroom and it was, he was wearing several layers of clothing. We don't know what he, what he had underneath there. So wait a minute, you're saying one of two things. One, you're saying that, wait a second, it's cold weather. Of course, people are freaking wearing a lot of clothing. Everyone in there was wearing coats and jackets, not just Mr. Mata. And two, you're saying that your security system apparently doesn't work, because didn't he have to go through security to get up there? So why would he be a threat? I mean, you would think that the security downstairs is protecting the people at this trial. So now we know, ladies and gentlemen, now we know why the judge was not critical in asking questions of this defense attorney. It's because he was in on it, and the two conspired to have Mata sworn in and kicked out. Let's listen to more of this.
And when I saw him come into the courtroom and sit within the immediate reach of the Dean family, it caused me some concern.
So wait, so the defense attorney claimed, and I don't know if you just noticed this, if you noticed that, did you hear what he said? When I saw Mr. Mata come in and sit within reach of the Dean family, which is weird because the other attorney said he was 21 within the 21-foot rule or whatever. I don't know about you, but how many people can reach 21 feet? And so this judge also said, as soon as Mata walked in and sat down, wherever he sat down, apparently within reach of the Mata family. I don't know what that means. So he knew who Mata was the moment he walked in the door. For them to claim that we had to get plainclothes officers to confirm who it was. This judge just said he knew from the moment he walked in and sat down it was Mr. Mata.
But that is over. My goal is to do a fair trial and to make everybody feel safe in this court.
I bet you Mr. Mata doesn't feel safe.
Without revealing our sources and methods.
Here you go again, without revealing our sources and methods. In other words, I'm about to pull shit out of my ass again, Your Honor.
Mr. Mata was quoted in the hallway, I shouldn't be here today. I know I'm going to be arrested.
Now, what he just said, Mr. Mata is quoted in the hallway saying, I know I shouldn't be here today. I know I'm going to be arrested. Or I shouldn't be here today. I know I'm going to get arrested. Well, hell, he gets arrested for nothing all the time. Mr. Mata has a very legitimate fear of being arrested for no reason whatsoever in Tyrant County, because Tyrant County cops are arresting him all the time for absolutely no reason. So of course he feels like he's going to get arrested. He had called me that morning concerned he was going to get arrested. Just because he was there, not because he was doing anything, but just because he was there.
That was on Friday, indicating, I guess, events previous, which I can only think would be the terrorist threat crime that he committed. not only in the presence of those plainclothes, uniformed sheriff's department, and Tarrant County Criminal District attorney employees that just witness and know what a violation of the law is when they see it.
So here's so this defense attorney is accusing Manuel of engaging in terroristic threats right there. And supposedly the officers know criminal activity when they see it. If this were true, if that were true, ladies and gentlemen, Manuel would have been booked and charged with another offense of terroristic threats. Instead, the judge just revoked his bonds. He hasn't been and won't be charged with terroristic threats because he did not engage in any.
Well, as I said previously, my goal is to protect everyone. In fact, when all this was happening, I looked up and the state was over in the well of the jury box, away from their tables, and I felt what I needed to do at the time to protect everyone for courtroom security. Mr. Mata's bonds will be reinstated today.
All right, there's the good news. The good news is, thankfully, because I didn't sleep last night, and I didn't sleep Saturday night either, because I could not reach Mata's attorney, and I had no idea what was going on. I couldn't find an attorney up there that was able to go and do our habeas corpus petition because they're either out of state or literally in the hospital. She should be out today or tomorrow. She's got pneumonia, unfortunately. That's why I wasn't able to get a hold of her. I'm glad that, well, that sounds weird. I mean, I'm glad there's a legitimate reason why I couldn't get a hold of her, and it wasn't just my calls being ignored. His bonds are going to be reinstated today, so he's going to be released today. I'm going to say this, and I'll say it again at the end of the video. Ladies and gentlemen, Mata needs a lot of help. Because I can't take this case, and I had to withdraw and give it to another attorney. I'm working for free for this attorney right now. I'm doing all the motions. I'm preparing the emails. I'm giving all the backstory. I'm doing all the writs, everything to save Manuel money because unlike me, other attorneys don't work at a reduced cost. Manuel needs $3,000 to fight all this crap. Okay. And on his behalf, and I'm not his attorney right now, but I do work for the firm for the firm that is representing him still. And I work directly for the attorney that is his attorney. So I'm still heavily involved. And I am not billing a single minute. Okay. And hang on. Yeah, let me do that here, Melissa. Oh, shoot. That's on. Hey, Melissa, hang on. Put it in the chat if you could, Melissa, and I will, because I'm doing StreamYard right now, and I can't wrench you from here, it looks like. Let me see. Yeah, I can't wrench you from here. If I do have someone in the chat, go ahead and make Melissa Stedman a moderator, please. If I do have a moderator in the chat, go ahead and make her a moderator so that she can do that. But Melissa, if you'll give me his Cash App and PayPal right now, I'll share it as well. But hey, look, we need wrench, hammer, whatever. We really need to raise money. I believe they've raised $600 already. So we need another $2,400 just for the retainer. Folks, I am absolutely convinced we can get almost all of these charges dismissed. And the only charge against Mata, and again, this is just contempt of cop stuff, that is going to be a fight and we'll probably have to go to court over, is the criminal trespass. But I think we can also win that one. I've got a motion to dismiss that because the criminal trespass was solicited by a police officer. That makes it a state action. And when you're engaged in a state action, you can't violate someone's constitutional rights. And the whole point of the trespass was to keep him from filming at the behest of, oh, only I can do mods. All right. Well, hang on. Let me finish this video here then. And actually, that's all that really matters. I don't think there was anything else after that.
So we can move on.
All right. Yeah. So his bonds are gonna be reinstated today. That didn't stop him from spending the weekend in jail. But I am glad that we were able to get him out because I mean Christmas is 6 days away, and that was my big concern is at the very, very least making sure that he's home for Christmas. And this whole thing is just mind-boggling. All right, hang on one second. Melissa, I'm going to make you a moderator here. Is just, oh, shoot, mind-boggling. Let me pause that. Melissa, there we go. Melissa. All right, you should be good now, Melissa. Go ahead. Go ahead and post, if you would, please, his YouTube and Cash App so that, guys, look, I don't care if it's $10, $5. We need to come up with $2,400. And even if you get that money, my time is going to be free. Okay. And really unless we go to trial, most of that money isn't going to be spent, except for when the attorney has to show up, for example, in January, when we argue our motions at the pretrial. Okay. And I believe that's January. No, it's not 23rd. That's when I go to Midland. I want to say the 5th or 6th. I'll have to look at my court dates but I think it's the 5th and 6th that we'll be going to court on pretrial to have these charges thrown out and to argue these. So he really needs help, ladies and gentlemen. He's constantly getting screwed by Fort Worth PD. They are constantly throwing him in jail. Look, there's a reason. The judge mentioned 4 interference with the duties of a peace officer. He's actually got 7 charges that we're defending him against. All of them are for the same thing. And so it's all for contempt of cop. It's all for filming. So while he only mentioned 4, it's actually 5. There's 5 interference with the duties, 1 criminal trespass, and I can't remember if there's a resisting arrest or not. But I seem to remember 7 individual cases. So again, let me also share this. There you go. I'm going to put it right there. If y'all can help, please help Manuel. And all of that. So this is just nonsense. No, don't let what you just saw in this video go unchallenged. Okay. We are doing this. I'm doing it for free. My attorney is doing it at what I used to charge, which is it's $150 an hour instead of the $250 or $300. Okay. I'm doing it for free, and I'm doing 80% of the legwork. She's doing the facial stuff where she shows up and the appearances and all that. I'm doing all the motions, and that's where really all the work and the billing comes in, but I'm not billing on that. So every dollar you send is going to be used to get Mata some justice. And not only that, anything that we have left over is going to be used towards holding this judge and that defense attorney accountable for what they did. Now, I want to say this as well. The defense attorney's name is, I believe, Miles Bissett. Let me make sure I've got the right name before I blast the wrong person. Yes. All right. So Miles Bissett is his name. Miles Brissett. BR. Okay. So I'm going to put this in the chat. me make sure I spelled that right. Yep, I did. All right. You know, anybody can file. Whoops, shoot, I did spell that wrong. I hope that doesn't send. I'm sorry, I spelled that wrong. I didn't realize there was an E in there. All right, there's the name. You know, anyone's allowed to file with the state bar a complaint. Just so y'all know. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be an attorney that files a state bar complaint. You can look him up and find his bar number and all of that. Hang on a second. Doing a couple things here at once. Live. Where is Heather at? There she is. All right. Can always use a few trusted moderators. So I made a few y'all moderators. All right. Yeah, I think this defense attorney was working in concert with the DA. But I don't know about the DA, but definitely the judge, because the judge admitted it. There literally is a conspiracy between the judge and this defense attorney. And by the way, for complaints against judges, you would go to the State Commission on Judicial Conduct. The State Commission on Judicial Conduct is where complaints against judges go. And in case you needed his name, there you go. George Gallagher. All right. But where's that attorney's name spelling? For public safety, it is Miles Brissett or Brissetti, whatever. I just put it in there again. I'm sure if you just look up the Aaron Dean case, and if you just look up the Dean case, you can find, you know, the correct spelling of his name and all that. So, all right. I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to say, and I'm going to keep on top of this all day long to make sure. I already got a hold of Mata's girlfriend to let her know that his bonds are reinstated today, and hopefully Mata will definitely call me when he gets out, or at least, well, I don't know if he's going to get a hold of his attorney since she's in there. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Again, we need to raise, I think we're 600 in, if I'm not mistaken, from what I last heard. I haven't seen any of this money, so I don't see it. But we need another 2,400 to reach the $3,000 goal for his retainer. And, you know, a lot of people are like, I don't understand, you know, hey, maybe this guy should stop getting arrested. It's not what he does. This guy's not going around doing things to get himself arrested. He's living his life. Literally, he's walking down the sidewalk and they arrest him because he's within, you know, some fictitious line that an officer arbitrarily creates, then tells him, okay, yeah, you can walk. And then he walked and he gets arrested. I mean, it's like, no one should have to bear the brunt. If you believe in justice, if you believe in holding police accountable, you know, and you're lucky enough that this doesn't happen to you, and you're not having to worry about spending weekends in jail and paying bonds and paying attorneys to clear your name so that you don't spend months or years in jail, you know, $5 or $10. And I know it's Christmas. I know it's hard. But we can all, I mean, heck, I'm going to go and send him some money myself, even though I'm the one working for him for free. I'm already donating every hour I'm donating pretty much $150 an hour for every hour I don't bill. So I'm doing everything I can to help as well. And he just needs help. Yeah, there's David Miles Brissett, his bar number, 505-11628. All right, y'all, take care. Be safe. Be free. I'm going to leave this up on the video here. And I actually got to get to work. I got to write some more motions for Mata, have them ready for next month. Y'all take care. and I will see y'all next time.